Hello, hello. This is Philip Cargom. Welcome to Tea with the Druid 347. Tea with the Druid is brought to you by the Order of Bards, Ovates and Druids. And I can see that there are already lots of people gathering around the fire in the circle, from Wilmington to Stirlingshire to Bournemouth to Healdsburg, California. I saw Lithuania earlier, Oxford, Finland, Virginia, Prince Edward Island, Dallas, Texas, North Germany, Aberdeenshire. Great, lovely to see you. Great to see you. As more and more people arrive, let's just give ourselves a chance to gather and to sit down by the fire. In a way, we've all made a long journey to get to this fire. The journey of our entire life, or lives, if you believe in reincarnation. If you don't believe in reincarnation, then at least the journey of this life is here now. And that applies to everywhere. You could be standing in a supermarket and the same thing applies. Wherever you are, that's where you are. And your journey leads to this point, which is why that's very... does anyone ever feel as soon as these start, you can suddenly take a deep breath, like you've been holding your breath for a week and now you can breathe? Beautiful, anyway. I hope you've been breathing in between times. Yeah, our life, which is why I guess you could argue it's important to be really mindful of what we do in life, because at any given moment, this is where we are. And so I'd like to invite us all just to take a deep breath. Breathe out fully and deeply, knowing you can breathe out as much as you like. Breathing in again deeply, holding for a moment, and then breathing out. And just open to that sense of having arrived. We've all arrived. We're all here now. And just tune into a feeling tone. If you had to describe the kind of tone of your feeling, what words would you use to describe it? One or two words that describes your feeling. Let's just share in that way to bring ourselves into the circle together. Accomplished. A light happiness, centered, hopeful, tense, delicately poised, relaxed, rebalancing, cozy, energized, calm, peaceful, hopeful, remembering, encouraged, bothered, high on finishing a book, congratulations, tired, sad and frustrated after the election, grounded and hopeful, full of lunch, green, happy, troubled, hoping, a bit anxious, warm, finally over 40 degrees, unsettled, positively coming together, content, at home, calm and serene, contained, hopeful, changeable. I feel at home in my heart, weary, content, worried but hopeful, melodic, many tuning in, overwhelmed and exciting, excited from joining OBOD and starting the Bardic course. Tense but optimistic, disassociated, steeled for a fight and hopeful, slightly unsettled but hopeful, worried about the United States becoming fascist. Hopefully applied for a job I'd love to do today, helping the community. Good karma, safe, tired and sleepy, hopeful, facilitated, high but grounded. Grateful, met new trees on my trip to Lisbon. Plane trees are huge. It's finishing with the trees. Yes, thank you. I'm feeling settled, and I've had a busy day, but I'm still feeling settled, and I've felt all the feelings that I've been reading out over the last week or so. I've felt them all, and so when I tuned into what we could share together, sort of what topic we could explore, just this phrase, the first rule, came to me. Just immediately, the first rule. And I thought, what is that first rule? I just kind of opened to the statement. What does that mean? And this is what I got was, first rule is being here now, opening to the what is. And by that, I mean the what is of like how you're feeling, what you sense, what's going through your consciousness, your awareness. It's your starting point. And there's a idea that we use in psychotherapy, which is staying with any discomfort, just staying in the moment. You know, the only place you can start is from where you are. And there's a natural tendency, it's part of us as a species, to always be seeking and progressing and thinking forwards, sometimes getting stuck in thinking backwards, often thinking forwards. And particularly when it comes to difficult times for ourselves or for other people or for the world, it's hard to stay with those feelings because they're uncomfortable feelings. Somebody was saying tired, anxious, and miserable. You know, we can find ourselves having very uncomfortable feelings. Sylvia is saying feeling discombobulated with world affairs. So all these things can make us feel really uncomfortable. And it's quite natural, and it's a protective mechanism that is invoked in us where we somehow don't engage with that. And the downside of that, the upside, is that we're able to carry on with life and function and so on without being overwhelmed. So it has a real value in it. So it's not to overwhelm us, to enable us to carry on. But the downside is that a part of us gets shut off. We either dissociate, as somebody said they were feeling at the moment, or we can possibly tumble into the feelings and find it hard to disidentify from them and to be with ourselves, to be centered in ourselves. So and there's some such interesting things going. What did Hermione say to Ron? His feelings fit on a teaspoon, but sometimes you feel everything together and nothing takes center stage. Yes. Holly is saying, every time I descend into overwhelmed and panicked, I try to remember to stay in the present. Yeah. Because if we can stay in the present moment and not deny the uncomfortable feelings, somehow allow them, there's this interesting thing that happens where we can somehow, almost paradoxically, by allowing them, it enables us to find our center, because our feeling state is only one state of our being. We also have our body state, we have our feeling state, and we have our mental state as well. And if we believe in the soul, we have the state of our soul too. So that our feelings aren't our only point of reference. We have a number of points of reference. And as we get used to not being worried or frightened of allowing our feelings in and allowing different thoughts, hopefully and gradually we come to be able to include them, and we allow them in, and we also sense that we're more than those feelings. Yes, I feel worried about the state of the world. Yes, the way politics are going, particularly in America, it seems extremely disturbing, or feels extremely disturbing, and also thinks extremely extremely disturbing to my mental processes, to my thoughts, as well as my feelings. And when I allow these feelings in and allow them to be there without panicking, either getting overwhelmed by them or trying to withdraw from them, they sort of find their place. So they're not devalued, but they find their place. And I can find my center from which I'm more likely to be able to be of some use, I suppose. Rose says, I have recently learned to go into the bag and rest in the helplessness, like Taliesin. That's a reference, for those of you who don't know, to the Taliesin story, the Ceridwen story, where at some point the initiate, the young initiate, the child, is in a leather bag bobbing on the sea in the darkness, to be reborn at the Salmon Weir. So allowing ourselves to feel as much as we can, and also allowing ourselves not to feel. I think it's important that we tend to create, we like to establish rules. Did I say the first rule? There we go. We like to set up rules for ourselves. Whilst they can be very helpful, I think it's really important not to make rods for our back, not to create rules that we then beat ourselves up about breaking and so on. So, for instance, if feelings are intolerable, then of course any kind of avoidance of them is perfectly fine in the particular situation we're in. Avoiding certain feelings seems it can be a completely appropriate response. Now, you may not have seen it, but there's a thing called a thumbnail, which is the picture that I get asked to put up when I set this broadcast up, and I choose a photograph often very quickly, from a stack of photos that I have, and I chose a photograph today of something that I took when I was in Walton-on-Thames a few days ago in London. I walked past a pub, and outside the pub there was green plastic grass. The whole area was this green plastic. But growing out of the plastic grass was real grass. So on that thumbnail, it just looks like a photograph of grass. But if you look more closely, you'll see there's this perfect, so-called perfect plastic grass, and then real grass is popping out. And I thought, well, that's a nice first rule as well. Nature will triumph. We will find a way. Rosalind Watts' article that I talked about in last week's tea talks about the way fire, there's this super blooming effect after a fire in the forest, and everything comes back. There's this kind of rebirth of the forest. And so there's something in that. The reason I took that photograph is it really made me smile when I saw it. It was like, it's like the sort of raised fist. It was like, you think you can keep us down with all this plastic grass. No, we're going to get through somehow. It really spoke to me. And it spoke to me of our trusting in evolution. And by that, I mean the wave of evolution, which for me includes spiritual evolution, that however much plastic grass people try to smother us or the world with, that the real grass will get through, rather like the extraordinary stories of what's happened at Chernobyl, which has become this extraordinary nature reserve, apparently. So let's drop into a meditation now. Let's go into the peace and quiet of the sacred grove. And we've already arrived there. We're already in the grove, gathered around the sacred clearing, so beloved of the Druids. You're aware probably of the walls around you and the floor beneath you and the ceiling above you. But if it feels okay for you, and to the degree that it's okay, you can allow your awareness of being seated in your room to gently fade, to become more and more aware of being seated in the sacred grove. The fire burning in the center. Almost 300 of us gathered in the circle together from all corners of the earth, united in our love of the earth, in our desire to connect with the deepest truths, the deepest currents of beauty and purpose and meaning. And here we are gathered in this sacred place. And we take in a slow, deep breath, hold, and then breathe out fully and deeply to allow yourself to really sense yourself being seated around the circle, perhaps on a log or a stone or on the forest floor. You tune into the earth beneath you. And you notice all the life in the earth. As your awareness drops into the earth now and tunes into it, become aware of all the vibrancy there, all the creatures, all the life. And all that life has a certain, what should we call it, emanation, energy, power that's coming from it, that just is naturally arising from all this life, all the interaction that's occurring in this soil. And you tune into the moisture in the soil now, all this moisture. And become aware of the way the moisture is being drawn up by the roots of the trees that are all around us. And you sense this moisture traveling up the roots, and as you do so, you feel this energy of the earth traveling up you as well. It's as if the moisture brings the energy of the earth with it up into your being. You can feel it flowing like a cool, energizing current that's flowing up into your energy field and into your body. And you sense the community of trees around us. And you sense how alive these trees are, how they are our teachers, our elders, our beloved brothers and sisters. And we breathe in and out with the trees. We feel the energy of the tree bringing us a sense of uprightness, of steadfastness. There's a calm and a solidity and a strength in trees. And we can, as we tune into them, we can feel these qualities being stimulated within ourselves, our own innate strength, steadfastness, integrity. And we notice how just this feeling of steadfastness, of uprightness, has with it as well, or brings with it, a sense of moral, ethical integrity. Integrity, uprightness, stature. And then our awareness moves to the branches of the trees and the crown of the trees around us. And we can feel the crown opening itself to the energy of the sky. And the crowns of trees are bringing in this sky energy now. They're like antennae that attract the energy of the sky. And breathe in this sky energy now. Breathing in the energy of the sky. Bringing it down into your being, bringing a sense of liveliness, of energy. And the energy of the sky meets the energy of the earth within the center of your being. And feeling centered and open now. Just allow yourself to gently become aware of being seated in the circle in the grove. And tuning into the trees around you, the forest, the animals, the humans, the spirits of this circle. Just sense this richness and just open to the idea that the forest is listening to you. The forest is listening. We're very used as Druids, particularly, to listen to nature. And we can do this now. We can listen. But also you might like to open to the idea that the forest is listening to you. And by listening, I don't mean necessarily to any noise that you're making or but in the sense of tuning into you. Open now to an awareness of the forest as the forest appreciates you and tunes into who you are and welcomes you here in this clearing. Nothing you need to do. If your mind wanders, you can use the breath and just follow the breath if you like. But just allowing yourself to bask in the feeling of being accepted, heard, appreciated by the forest and all the creatures here. You might like to sense that you're just putting one of the palms of your hands on the earth and just rest it on the earth and allow the earth to listen to you through the palm of your hand. To attune to you, just as you might gently rest your head against the head of an animal, or being close to an animal, just tuning in, just allowing that attunement. And then lifting your hand up and holding it out to the person to one side of you, and then your other hand. So all these hands that have been listened to hold hands with each other. May the peace and the calm and the trust that we experience in this circle of being accepted, of being heard, of being loved, and of loving, spread from our circle across the earth. May peace prevail on earth. May all of nature be held sacred. Squeeze gently the hand to either side of you and let your hands drift to your heart now. As you find yourself thinking, may my life be blessed. May all lives be blessed. And may the land be blessed. Gradually allow your awareness of your hands on your heart to gradually fill your body with a sense of warmth and ease. And retaining all the positive feelings experienced in this meditation, allow yourself to gradually have a sense of the sacred grove and the clearing gently fade as you become aware of the four walls around you, the floor beneath you and the ceiling above you, as you become aware of being seated in front of your screen, fully present, here and now. So, thank you so much. I'll just give a shout out to the wonderful Lucas Allen, who is helping me now. He's being of such help creating a podcast out of all these Tea with the Druids, 47 of them, and over the last 7 years, and the various interviews I've done with people and other talks and workshops I've given and so on. And Lucas is doing this wonderful job of picking some good material from them, editing it, taking some of the meditations, adding music beneath them, and making some short little films as well. And so we've started This Magical Life. If you Google This Magical Life podcast, you'll find it. You might want to put Philip afterwards, because there's another one that hasn't been used for years under the same title. But This Magical Life podcast, you'll find it's a really lovely and growing collection of material. So thank you for being here. Thank you for that. And I will now go into the Druid Hearth, which is for members of the order. So I'll see you all there in a little bit, or some of you there. Okay, many, many blessings, much love, and I will see you in a week's time. Okay, bye. Have a really good week in the meantime.